Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are watching from. We're here, game week 37, guys. Apologies, I didn't make last week's stream. Yeah, just really, really tough with work at the moment for me. Yeah, it's been very, very busy, but here we are. Transfers have been made. I have done Grealish to Fernandez, Watkins to Alvarez. It'll be interesting to see if Alvarez gets two starts. I don't think he will do, but I really wanted Bruno, and it was the only route to him. So that's me done, I think, for this stream, to be honest, in terms of my team. So get your questions in. Hello to Stu again. Good morning to Abdullah and Patrick, of course. Welcome to the stream, guys. But yeah, this is me. This is me. Don't think the armband's going to change as well. I think I'm pretty confident sticking with Erling. So here we are. Phoenix T, welcome to the stream, my friend. Sell Isak and Martinelli for a -4 or hold for next week. Well, Martinelli's out for the season, so I don't see any reason holding on for him. Isak depends on your formation, I suppose. I mean, I think he's just really underwhelming if Wilson starts again as the number 9. I think Isak in the 9 is much better than Isak on the left. So I don't mind playing him. It's just if you sell Martinelli for somebody, would you go for, I don't know, someone like Eze as a punt, maybe even Trossard, as we'll probably expect him to start instead of Martinelli for the last few weeks. I mean, even Mahrez, if you're not on Triple City, I think I'm not convinced that he gets the full kind of last 3 fixtures, so I'm not sure he'll get Brentford away, but because if City have wrapped the league up, then you're probably going to see some rotation, right? But yeah, I think Mahrez could be the one for City, though. I just think his numbers overall and his threat are massive. How are we doing, Armin? How are we doing? Welcome to the stream, bud. Yeah, I was actually feeling fine, to be honest. It's just that last week I just needed that lay-in, mate. To be honest, like my weeks at work have just been so grueling for the past few weeks. Like if anybody else has worked in IT, you'll know that like if you've ever worked within IT and projects within IT, that when you get to a kind of go live phase, there's just so much testing that's required and so many things that can go wrong, and it just takes it down to the wire. And there's just huge projects that are going live with my company, so it's just yeah, it was one of them ones, mate. I'm glad to be back though. I really did miss it last week, especially after captaining Wilson and getting the rewards from it. I would have loved to have sat here and tried to convince more of you to do it. How are we doing, Igalo Rossi? I'm sorry if I've butchered your name. What are my thoughts on Martial? I think, to be honest, he doesn't get 3 games out of the next 3 games, right? I think in a double game week, I would expect him to start at least 1 as the number 9. Maybe Rashford comes in as the number 9, though, for Chelsea if he doesn't play at Bournemouth. But I still like Martial's numbers. So if you've got a kind of, I guess the simple answer to that is if it's a luxury transfer for you, taking a punt on him, I don't think is that bad. But I do think Bruno is the one. Good morning, George. Welcome to the stream. RJ77, you too, sir. Keep yo-yoing over getting Fernandez or Mahrez for Saka. Bruno would be a -4. Mahrez would be for free. I do like Mahrez. I mean, I mentioned him in my team selection as well. I do think he could be the City asset or the City midfielder. Bruno for a -4 is what I've done. I've effectively sold Watkins for Alvarez for that -4. Who would be your -4? Who would you lose to fund Fernandez? Just out of curiosity, RJ. Armin, GCSEs have been in full swing. Still 4 weeks left. Yeah, it's a tough time, mate. It's a tough time. I know there's a few regular viewers that have gone through those times, and yeah, it's tough, mate. But you'll get through it. You know, the best advice I can give to all of you is that look, I'm 34 years old. Absolute boomer. It was a long time ago since I sat any exams, but trust me, exams are not the be all and end all of your life. School put a tremendous amount of pressure on yourselves, and it really doesn't need to be like that. There's many opportunities out there in life, and you don't need to just go for a traditional college into university route. There's so many different things. So if you don't get the results you want, don't worry. There's always alternative routes, mate. So really don't stress over it. I hope you enjoy the summer, my friend. Abdullah, great last week for me. Yeah, 77k. I'm 16 points away from the top 50k, mate. We're closing in. And finally, City will win the treble, mate. I can't believe it. The narrative is so good for Manchester United as well, because we're playing you in the FA Cup final, and it's perfectly poised that if you win the Premier League on Sunday, you've got us on June the 3rd, and then you've got the Champions League final on June the 10th. If we can interrupt that treble win to keep our glory intact, my friend, that is perfect. Looking forward to it, my friend. Jack, how we doing? Welcome to the stream. Good to have me back. Thank you very much, sir. Did really well last week, 98 points. Estepinian, the absolute GOAT, my friend. Crazy, right? 17 points. That was only from one game. Absolute hero. But yeah, hope you're doing well, mate. Good to be back. George, Martinelli to Bruno, Isak to Alvarez. Thoughts? So that's for a -4, George, or for free, my friend? Because I do like Martinelli to Bruno. Obviously, Martinelli's out for the season. Bruno is definitely the boy. I think we need him. His numbers have been fantastic. Other content creators are not so convinced, but I think he's the one. Isak to Alvarez for the -4, though. Like I said earlier, Isak on the left is not the Isak that you want to own, in my opinion. You want Isak in the number 9. So if you've got a feeling that Wilson starts, then I think the -4 is not so bad. Phoenix T, better to hold the transfer. Next week we'll get early news. You think so? You think? I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that. I mean, I'm not saying that people have to take a -4 this week. It's the penultimate game week, right? Like 2 free transfers next week is great if you roll, but I don't know. I just feel like there's moves that can be made this week for upside. George, you dropped to 124k. You want to hold top 150k minimum, but push for top 100k. I mean, 24k to 100k. What's that in points? 10 points, maybe something like that. It's very, very condensed still. RJ, you'd have to downgrade Solanke to Greenwood, excuse me, to get Bruno in with the -4, but Mahrez would be for free. Okay, so I mean, you've got a Bournemouth player that's playing to essentially a Leeds player that's not, right, just for the money. It's a tough call. It really is. I think Bruno's solid for the minutes across both games. You see, Mahrez could be a risk in the sense that he might not start both, right? And if he does, maybe he gets early subbed. Who knows with City with Pep Roulette? So it's really difficult. I do like the -4 though. I've got to admit. I just think Bruno is the one. That'd be for free. You rolled last week. Then I do like those moves, George. Yes. You went from Joe Linton to Bruno and Henry to Shaw for a -4. I like those moves. Nice. Abdullah, you think? I think, Dan, you have to take risk and shift captaincy to someone else. I mean, I could take the risk, but you see, I'm kind of, that's for if I really want to push into the top, maybe 50, top 30k, something like that. But I've got more on the line with sort of cash mini leagues as well. So I'm kind of trying to protect that. I also want to be able to try and protect the 100k mark. So I just think that going Haaland, it's kind of, I know it's boring, man. But I did Wilson last week. So at the end of the day, I've taken that risk already. I've cut my rank in half from last week. So I'm not going to do it 2 weeks in a row. But I would agree that, yes, you do have to take risks towards the back end of the season if you're chasing. How are we doing, Sportcat? Good to see you, mate. You've kind of taken a bit less interest in FPL because of GCSEs. Yes, mate, likewise to a few of my regular viewers. You started them on Tuesday. Maths, English Lit and History and Biology already done. Well done, mate. Well done. I hope they went well. I was saying to Armin that, look, just at the end of the day, bud, if the exams don't go well, you don't get the results you need. It doesn't define your life moving forward, right? School and some families put a tremendous amount of pressure on children to do well, but I honestly, mate, trust me, you will get out the other side. There are plenty of opportunities, especially in the UK, right? We're a solid country for that. Haaland might not get a second game against Brighton. He might not. You're right. But I'm willing to take the risk that he plays maybe 30 minutes in Brighton, maybe still gets a goal. And also, he'll just be so highly owned in terms of captaincy. It is an effective ownership pick, really, mate. There's nothing else to it. Would I sell Salah to get Bruno in? I don't think I would. If that's your only route, it's a really, really difficult one. You've already got Mahrez, Matoma, Mac 10 and Rashford. So I like the fact that you've got Mahrez already, I guess. That's good. Just not convinced I'd sell Salah there. See, that's the thing. I went Grealish to Fernandes, right? Because I just wasn't convinced that Grealish gets the minutes, whereas you've got Mahrez. So I wouldn't agree in selling Mahrez. If you see, it's the thing again. We haven't got solid news on Rashford as well. Otherwise, I would have definitely said maybe Rashford to Fernandes if we know he's not starting or playing. Very tricky to get Bruno in for you, Latio. George, your team still Gahey, Trent, Shaw, Salah, Bruno, Rash, Grealish, Matoma, Alvarez, Haaland, Enciso first sub. Very good, mate. Very nice team. How we doing, Seb? Welcome, mate. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. You're from Finland, right? I was fully rooting for you guys on the Eurovision because I am definitely a Eurovision monkey. I absolutely love it. I think it's hilarious. But your guys' song was amazing. Of course, Sweden won it, but 93 points, mate. Very good. Very good. You started Stones over Estu, but he didn't play. Wow. Bit of bench jam. But that's what the bench is for, so well done. Stu, you've done Salah to Bruno. Interesting. I mean, look, there is 3 fixtures over the next 2 weeks for United as opposed to Liverpool just having 2, but the top 4 is still on for Liverpool. So I just feel like against Villa, what's their last game of the season? Southampton, already relegated. That could be really massive for Salah. What do I think about a -8? Rashi to Bruno, Trips to Shaw, and Solanke to Greenwood. I mean, I don't think you need to do that, Seb. If I'm honest, I think Rashi will get at least 1 start. I don't like Rashford to Bruno overall. Trippier will probably start. There's been absolutely zero news on it being a difficult injury for him, so I just don't feel like that's a move I would make. I just think you need to look at alternate routes on that one, bud, to be honest. And I don't like a -8, to be honest, so close to the end of the season. You were so close to winning it. Yeah, you were, indeed. You was getting so worried and having a massive fit because of the exams. You went to FPL and just did Rashford to Foden. No idea why. Well, mate, good luck. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I suppose for you and maybe even Seb to some degree, if you rank at this point, if you're kind of just chasing as much upside as possible, you can probably just take punts like that, right? Armin, would you start Botman or Ben White? You don't have Trippier. The thing is with Forest and Arsenal's defence, I just don't trust Arsenal's defence at the moment because of injury and other things. I'm just not sure. I mean, they've got to win it just to try and hope that City slip up at Chelsea, right, to be able to still win the league. So maybe they put in a good performance, but I think I would just go Botman. It's tricky. Ben White's definitely got the threat. Tough. It's a tough call. Now I'm gonna change my mind. Actually, I'm gonna go Ben White because I think Leicester have got more to play for in this scenario. It's a tough ask to go to St James's Park and get points, but it's about the conceding, right? And I think that Leicester might be able to sneak a goal, especially if they're pushing really hard to try and stay in the Prem. No worries, RJ. Hope that helped, mate. If I don't mind, could I pick 2 out of Isak, Trent, or Trippier? I would probably choose Trent and Trippier, I think. I mean, my original thoughts was that Wilson may get benched and Isak starts in the 9, but there's been a lot of predictions from Newcastle fans that Wilson will probably start again, and I just don't like Isak on the left. So I think Trent and Trippier offer you the best upsides in terms of attacking threat, mate. Pre-drag Matic, Matoma or Wilson bench. I mean, Matoma potentially could get benched. I have thought about that as well. If Matoma's not playing against Southampton, it's tricky. But you can see on screen what I've done. I've gone with Wilson as a bench. Again, though, I think partially this is a little bit of like protecting rank, protecting mini leagues, stuff like that. So What about trips to Shaw and Kepa to De Gea? Don't mind that so much. Of course, you are missing Bruno. We have been very, very good defensively at home. And then Bournemouth really, I don't think they've got nothing to play for, right? So I think we could probably get double clean sheets. Don't mind that, Seb, to be honest. I think that could be okay. You captain Wilson as well, Arman. Congratulations. Trippier killed the rank. Interesting. You've been 98k for 5 weeks in a row somehow. 5 weeks of grey arrows. That's the thing, right? It's just that the template has been so strong this year. I mean, I saw FPL Focal had tweeted out that if you stuck with a game week 1 team, I can't remember who it consisted of, but it was triple Arsenal mids. So it was Saka, Martinelli and Odegaard, I think. Trying to think of who else was in there. Haaland was obviously in there, but you would have been ranked 35th in the world. That's how strong the template has been this season. Abdullah Trent's killed your rank. Likewise, my friend. Welcome to the club. Like, if I owned him and people did bench Estepinian last week, by the way, that I feel like that could have been massive for me. But just I have never had a route to Trent. He's such an awkward price point. I wouldn't have been able to go for Bruno, though, if I did have Trent in the team. So, you know, there's swings and roundabouts and different things. George, you think Brighton need to relax on the rotation? Yeah, both their big losses have been because of the manager overly rotating and poor subs. I think that comes down to the fixture congestion, though. I think they've done so well this season, George. It's been a bit unexpected, right? So their squad depth is a little bit on the lower side. I mean, we have seen, obviously, a few youngsters come in. I'm really happy for the likes of someone like Ferguson, for example, doing really well. Obviously, Enciso has started to play. The other young winger, beginning with B, forgotten his name now. But I do agree that if they want to push for European fixtures, they're probably going to have to play their best 11 over both of these games. Sportcat, you're going to have to start Kepa, even though he was dropped last week. Yeah, I mean, who's your backup keeper, though? Because I've got a feeling that Mendy will probably play both. Your mids are Salah, Mac 10, Matoma, Rashi and Grealish. You can't fit Bruno in. I mean, you could sell Grealish. This is what I've done to be able to fund it, but it just depends on how much money you need to do that. Okay, yeah, I see your point. Because you're a City fan, you're not going to do it. I just think that Grealish gets rotated. He doesn't start both games for sure. He might start Chelsea, but he definitely wouldn't start Brighton, in my opinion. Or it'll be vice versa. You've owned Trent since the Arsenal game. Absolute masterclass, yeah. This new midfield role that he's taken up is absolutely fantastic. It's I think it's for England. It's so positive. I just hope that Southgate recognises that this man could do a job for us, an immaculate job at that. We've got so much good talent for England. I know it's hard to pick, like a sort of master 11 for to wear an England shirt, but honestly, I feel like he needs to he needs to come in. And I hate not owning him in FPL. That free kick was just, I knew it. I even said it to the TV. I was watching it and I just said, this is Trent territory. The moment the free kick happened, and it's just like, I'm glad that Salah got the assist, obviously, because I own him, but still, it's just, when I see that go in and Liverpool keep the clean sheet as well, I was like, man, this is just going to kill me. Praying Pep Roulette treats you well, George. Absolutely. Likewise. Pep decides if you get a good rank this season. I mean, you've gone Alvarez as well, right? I think he gets at least one start. Like, I don't think KDB will start Chelsea. And then there's also some talk that KDB has got some personal issues going on outside of his football career, shall we say. So I think that there is every potential that Alvarez might start in the KDB role for both games. And if Haaland does get benched for Brighton, then maybe even starts in the number 9. So, be interesting. You don't have money for that. Yeah, most people don't, right? You'd have to sell someone to make the funds for it. So it was just a kind of wild thought, I guess, because I've done something similar, Seb, that's all. You can't bring yourself to sell Grealish either. You think he starts against Chelsea, which is arguably the better fixture. It probably is the better fixture. You're right. You're right. But the thing is that I suppose I've owned him for how many weeks now? About 6-7 weeks. He had those back-to-back 12-pointers, which was really nice. But then he's kind of fallen off a little bit from an output perspective. I think he's a fantastic player. But I just think we jumped on him just at the right time, and I think I'm hoping at least I've jumped off him at the right time now as well. Joe Davies, is Watkins to Alvarez worth a hit if you're chasing? Well, yeah, I mean, I've gone for it, mate, to be honest, especially if you're facilitating a Bruno move. Maybe even people are still looking at bringing in Salah or other premiums, right? So if you free up that extra 1.3 million or whatever it is, plus any money in the bank to do another move, Joe, I really like it. Trips to Shaw and Kepa to De Gea, good moves. Look, I think Trippier could definitely hurt you. There's no doubt. I can't say that's a really good move because I just think his attacking threat is still there. We've seen the 2 assists and what he's capable of. I like the Kepa to De Gea move, yes. Trips to Shaw, slightly questionable, but you get a double game week at least. So, congrats on the Wilson cap, Dan. At least your FPL name now has a double meaning. What's your FPL name, my friend? I need to have a look at the league, don't I? Of course. What a time to be alive, mate. But yeah, I mean, it was very, very close. It was such a close call. Such a close call. And I just got on the right side of it this week. But I've made so many other bad decisions, good decisions this season. It's been really topsy-turvy. But yeah, slash the rank by about 60k, my friend. So very, very good good choice. But well done for staying top, mate. Close. It's close. Sportcat, is Trippier fine? Well, there's been absolutely zero news to say that he's not. In the post-match press conference or interview, he seemed absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with him. So I think there's obviously been some talk about him maybe picking up a knock, which is why he was substituted before the end of the match. But it was a 98-minute game, so he just got taken off. I just don't see why he wouldn't be okay for Leicester. Eddie Howe has literally given us nothing, unfortunately. But I just can't see him not playing, mate. He's a team captain. He'll be alright. Team Kepa, Robertson, Estepinian, Trippier, Grealish, Foden, Matoma, Gakpo, Haaland, Kane, Isak. Very interesting. You've got a couple of differentials in there, Sportcat. You've got a couple of differentials in there, bud. I mean, Kane's probably going to be, getting closer to a differential territory at this rate because I think a lot of people are probably looking to move him on to facilitate Bruno in some way. How are we doing, Seth? Welcome to the stream, my friend. I mean, imagine telling yourself last year that you'd be considering captaincy of 2 Newcastle forwards instead of Salah or Kevin De Bruyne. Indeed, mate. I mean, even then, at the beginning of the season, Haaland... It's just, I know some people, not everybody, took the punt on him or took the risk, right? I can't remember who it was between. It was like... There was that freemium draft, wasn't there, at the beginning of Game Week 1, where people were going like Kane... Salah, KDB, or Kane, Salah, and Haaland. I'm sure there was like a premium switch of like what you could do, and I think I just ended up opting for 2 premiums in the end, and just went for Haaland and someone else. I can't remember. But yeah, I mean, I would have never ever predicted I would be captaining a Newcastle player, to be honest. But Wilson did the business. You're very tempted to play aggressive now. Do I think Matoma gets benched for 1 game? There has been talk about that, and I do think that he might miss the Southampton game, which is probably the better of the 2 fixtures. The only thing that I've got as a saving grace in the back of my head, I suppose, and somebody else sort of touched on this, is that they're still chasing European places, right? They want to try and solidify probably their best. No, it isn't probably. It is going to be their best Premier League season. So I think he's got to start his best 11. If he keeps rotating, he's gonna do damage to that. So I'm hoping that Matoma starts both, but there is a risk, absolutely. Botman or Gakpo, you got to play Gakpo there, mate. Nunez is injured. I feel like he starts. It was Kane, Son, and Salah, I'm pretty sure. There was definitely freemium drafts, though, wasn't there? Really, I don't know if KDB was ever in the template, but definitely in terms of cost. There was freemium drafts and then the 2 premiums, basically. You got me thinking now. What did I even start with, boys? Salah and Haaland. I mean, look at this. Flag City. This guy, man. This guy. The template troll. Who remembers this? Blast from the past. Pedro Neto, mate. Look at his points. 37. I think people were predicting he was going to score 37 points in the first 4 or 5 game weeks, mate. Literally, it's absolutely incredible. I mean, I know that he's missed most of the season, but it's just funny that we had him for like this run down the bottom. Crazy. Good times. Good time. There's a full season ahead of us at that stage. And now look at us. Triple Brighton, triple City, triple United, triple Newcastle. Like, it's literally all I've got is just, I'm filled with players from the top 6 teams. That's it. I've got 2 Brentford. I mean, it's just, yeah, madness. You're in the mud. You've dropped to almost 600k from 170k. Oh, Seth, man, I'm really, really sorry to hear that, bud. Time to go differential now, though, mate, to try and claw that back. That is massive, though. 500k red arrow. What happened? Sebois Wilson Cap brought you back into the top 100k. Likewise, my friend. Congrats on that. Now contemplating a -4 to bring in Bruno versus using the 1 free transfer to bring in Shaw, who could hurt your rank. Tricky. How about could the -4 facilitate both? Can you get Bruno and Luke Shaw in at the same time, Sebois? Arman fooled us all. The best budget midfielder. I know, man. And then Andreas just comes out of nowhere and just starts popping off. Hilarious, man. But like I said, for the most part, a lot of the template has done very, very well. You're down to 780k, 500k finish out the window. I mean, you say that, but you've just got to take punts now, Sportcat. You've just got to go for it, mate. There's no... I don't think there's any 2 ways about it there. You're tempted by Mahrez in the Matoma position and then get a Brighton forward for Isak. Probably bad for 38, though. Yeah, that's tricky. That's tricky. I do actually like that. I think the upside could be there, and that is definitely a little bit risky. Who would you go for, though? Would you go for Enciso or would you go Ferguson? This is the problem as well, right? Is the Brighton forwards also are at risk at not playing. Ian Evans, welcome, my friend. Any news if Rashford has travelled to Bournemouth today? I haven't seen any, mate. No, I've been looking out for it, but I mean, there's just all full-on investigation work, right, being done on who got off the bus. But I think most people are right. The assumption is that if he's sick, like, why would he travel on the main coach? He's probably travelled separately if he's travelled. But I still think that even holding him for the Chelsea game makes sense. So I'm not a fan of selling him, if I'm honest, Ian. You think you worded it wrong. You want to finish 500k, but you dropped down 200k to 780k. No, the first sentence made sense to me. I knew you'd dropped, but I think 280k to get in. What I mean is to go up 280k places to get into 500k. You could definitely still do that. He was 520 before, and now you're 641. Mate, it could have been even more damaging, right? That Wilson chance when Steele saved it. What was it, on the 93rd, 94th minute or something? It was crazy. Am I going to be doing content next season and in the summer? I certainly will be doing content next season, Armin. In the summer, I will probably take about a 2-month break, to be honest. I did have something in the pipeline, I suppose, in terms of a, let's call it like FPL University type of idea, right? Where I wanted to kind of do a full showcase of what all the rules are, what the chips mean, everything else. I'm not too sure I'm going to be able to have the time to do it. Like I say, my job has just ramped up so much in the past month. And I've only really done a very small amount of that idea in terms of content. So we'll see. Maybe I get to create that, maybe not. But I'll probably come back as soon as they start doing price reveals. That's when I'll do a couple of videos on price reveals, normally around July or August time. So I'll be back after a few months, mate. 1 week you captained Salah over Haaland, you didn't own Estepinian last week. Oh my God, the Estepinian. 17-pointer. You brought in Eze and Martial for a -4. Patrick, you needed some backup for your risky Matoma, Grealish, Stones, and 3 injured players on the bench. I mean, Eze, I think, is good for the next two. Martial, I'm not sure he gets 3 games, like I've said, over the next sort of 3 starts over the next 3 games, but I think he's a fine punt, to be honest. Saka versus Mahrez might be close this week. Both start 2 games, likely until the end of the season. Yeah, indeed. Saka way better for 38 and on pens. Very good point. Very good point. The double could be blindsiding a few people and taking them away from Arsenal assets. See, I think my last week is probably going to be Matoma to Trossard as the final punt. So I think I'm going to go for an Arsenal asset. Would you bring in Lindelof or maybe Varane? Can't quite afford Shaw as part of the -4. I think I would probably go Lindelof, to be honest, because Varane. Neither of them really provide any attacking threat. Let's face it. But if you get like a kind of a 1-0, something like that, there's a potential that Lindelof finishes in the bonus with 1 or 2 points. So I like that. I don't think he'll do as much as, of course, what Luke Shaw will, but at least it covers the clean sheet. So I don't mind that. And you'd probably sell Shah to facilitate that. I do like that, Sebois. I do. Got to go. No worries, Sportcat. Thanks for joining the stream, my friend. Take care. Good luck with your exams next week, mate. Eze and McNeil are great differentials for the next couple of weeks. Yeah, I think Eze, like I said, good fixtures for Palace. They've not really got anything to play for, but I think he's certainly got and found a bit of the rhythm of late. McNeil, Everton have still got plenty to play for, so I agree on that. You're tempted to just go for vibes. And if you lose the mini league, it's at least a better feeling than losing it and playing ultra defensive. That's true. But yeah, I mean, you're so close. Like between you and George, it's absolutely mad. It's just honestly 4 points. Like you're literally both taking it to the wire. But yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun to watch what happens. And obviously, we're gonna have to stay in touch because I'm gonna have to sort you out a prize if you do win. Seb, can I look at your team? Sure, I'll take your ID, my friend. I think you. So have you done the moves? Have you done the moves, Seb? I can't remember if you said you had. Because you're looking at this, right? Who would you bench here, though? Isak, I guess. Maybe it looks something like that. You haven't done the moves yet. Okay. So this was Trippier. So you're 0.1 off doing Kepa to De Gea. I don't mind that. So don't worry about Luke Shaw. I think if you want to cover clean sheets in this way, then this is more important. The thing is how you facilitate it. Who do you sell? Who have Newcastle got? Chelsea away. See, this is the thing. Because you're a City fan, you're not going to sell Stones, even though I think he only gets 1 game. You're not going to sell Grealish, even though I think he only gets 1 game. So I guess you're putting yourself in a tricky position, but the Trippier sale makes the most sense. Out of all of these individuals, I don't see any reason why you would keep him because you want someone that's playing. I mean, if you sold one of these just to facilitate De Gea, who are you going to go to? And by these, I mean Isak, Botman and Solanke. So, I mean, you could do Raya to De Gea. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that makes more sense. Because then for free, I don't hate that. I think that's okay. Like you're covering, and it's a defensive move. I would much prefer a midfielder move or an attacking move for you, mate. To be honest, but if you're not willing to sell the City guys, then Yeah, I think that's the way. Mark Sikito, bench Kane for Matoma, I guess you mean. Bench Kane or Matoma. I think I would bench Matoma. I mean, Kane, he's Mr. Consistent. He's on penalties. I think if you're going to play him or keep him, then you've got to bench Matoma. I think he's at risk of not playing both games anyway. If people have forgotten about Kane all season, how good he has been. Very true. Very true. And Spurs, they've still got European places to play for, by the way. They can't get top four, of course, now, but Europa League is there for them. Isak to Alvarez probably is really the play. Yeah, I do think that he gets the Brentford game. So this is why, like, even though I've taken the -4 this week, I'm still set up quite well next week. So I do like Alvarez as a pick, I'm going to be honest. Like I said, though, I just think Mahrez is the one that's got the most potential across this double. I don't, take that with a pinch of salt, though, right? City guys are just really difficult to predict. How are we doing, Daniel? Welcome to the stream, my friend. I'm doing pretty well, sir. Pretty well. Very happy with my FPL season, mate. So, yeah, all good. Hope you're well, mate. Start Trips or Joe Linton? I probably would start Trippier. You can sell Grealish, but you don't have the money. I mean, I don't know who you would go to anyway. It was just a wild thought. Zaha Eze in for Joe Linton and start him, or do Alvarez in for Greenwood, Alvarez in for Greenwood and bench Trippier and Joe Linton. Well, Zaha's injured, so Eze is going to be the one you go for there. I don't mind that move, actually. I quite like. I mean, it depends what rank you are, Daniel. Right? If you're chasing, then I don't mind that. Eze for the next few weeks is really good. Gerard, morning. How we doing? Grealish to Mahrez, Isak to Wilson. First in mini league and second is Wilson. So try to block it. Depends how many points you've got in between you both. Grealish to Mahrez, Isak to Wilson. Like both of these are really sideways moves, aren't they, Gerard? To be honest. Tough call, that one, mate. Really tough call, but I do think Mahrez is the one. See, Isak to Wilson's interesting because if Wilson gets benched, then yes, Isak, like if he's playing in the number 9, then that's the one. But for Isak owners, you want him in that number 9 position. So I'm not sure. Currently 8th in my mini league, Ian, off the back of 141 point. Fantastic, mate. Team today is Edison, Trent, Estu, Shaw, Rash, Grealish, Bruno, McAllister, Matoma, Haaland. Captain with Wilson, no hits. Very nice. Very nice, mate. Abdullah Kane should now go and play in Serie A or La Liga. You don't get why he's so stubborn with Spurs. It's just, he's got a lot of history with the club, right? I mean, I would like to see him at United. Do a Teddy Sheringham, for example, but I don't think he will. Let's see how it pans out. Grealish to Mahrez. I guess somebody else has asked that as well. I think Mahrez has got a higher upside than Grealish, in my opinion. He just does. Now that there's no more midweek fixtures in terms of Champions League, because I've always said that Mahrez, I think, is preferred in Europe. It's just so tricky. I feel like we're just going to get ourselves into a mess. It's just that Pep roulette territory, and this is why I think just it's so sideways. Which goalkeeper am I starting in 38? Well, I'll start Edison, but then at the end of the day, if he's benched, then Raya comes in. I won't make a goalkeeper move. You benched Eze last week and started Grealish. Why did he get subbed on? Mate, that is such a killer. 1 point versus, what was it, 16 points that Eze scored? Was it 16? Oh my God. Savage, mate, that is. Absolutely savage. Time we on? 20 minutes yet. It's so brutal. Kane should now have at least 7-8 titles. He would do if he played for a good team. Like that's the reality, right? Spurs are they're top 4 monkeys, mate. That's all they want. They only want top 4. They don't care about winning titles or winning trophies. It's just that's why he needs to move. You didn't know that? Whoops. Yeah, Zaha's got a hamstring injury, I think. Do I think Jota starts? Well, Nunez has got a toe injury, so I think he's got a strong chance of starting. Then again, we have seen Gakpo playing the number 9. So I actually feel like my lineup prediction would probably be Diaz on the left, Gakpo through the middle, and Salah on the right. And I think Jota probably gets benched. So no, you're thinking about a -12. I mean, look, the thing is with it, right? Your differentials, if you're going to do that, no, like you said, you've not started the season from the beginning. So if you take a -12, then just have fun with it. If you want to go with that realm. If you want to kind of just follow the template, then of course the moves that you've suggested, or one of the moves, is fine. Harry Smith, Leeds fan, welcome to the channel, mate. Do you think we'll stay up? Also, you've brought in Alvarez and Gakpo for Rashford and Tony. Thoughts? I think a lot is riding on this fixture at the weekend, mate. To be honest, I think if you win, you've got a chance of staying up. Like I have faith in Big Sam to be able to do it for you. My only problem with it is that the appointment was too late. You should have put him in 2 months ago. Like that interim thing with, was it Garcia that you had? I just didn't get it. Like if you were going to try and stay up, you should have brought in Sam at that point. So you've left it a little bit late, but I do think you've got the potential to get the most points here. We could definitely see Leicester go. You could definitely see Leicester go and you survive. So let's see. Fingers crossed for you, mate. But as for your transfers, brought in Alvarez and Gakpo for Rashford and Tony. Well, Tony, obviously, as we know, is banned until like game week 20 next season, so I don't mind that move at all. Gakpo for Rashford. I think Rashford's probably travelled, my friend, so we'll see. But the reality is, even if Rashford gets one game, then Gakpo also gets one game this week, you'd expect, and then they've got Southampton next week. So I don't mind those moves. Mr. Blanky, who should he bring in for Martinelli? You could take the punt on Trossard, mate. I'm probably going to look at Trossard next week. If you're already on Triple City, then obviously you're on Triple City. If you're not, then potentially Mahrez as a punt. Don't mind that at all if you can afford him. Nobody talks about even someone like Christian Eriksen. I know he doesn't get that much FPL points, but he is creative enough to be able to score, to be able to assist from every now and again. Budget option as well. You chase into, I think Eze in for Joe Linton is the better move than Alvarez in for Greenwood. Do both for a -4 and bench Jota. See, I like both and benching Jota, to be honest. I like Eze because of the next 2 fixtures, and I like Alvarez in this double, mate. So I like the -4 on that, Daniel. Isak to Alvarez, Trips to Shaw, Grealish to Bruno, and Solanke to Greenwood. I actually don't mind that. It's actually not that bad. But like you said, in terms of the minus, you're not looking at a top 100k finish. You wouldn't play that way if you were. So go for it, mate. Have some fun. After Jesse, it should have been Sam. Indeed, I just think you've dawdled a little bit, and you just took too much time to decide what you wanted to do. You either play progressive football or you play survival football, and you should have just gone to Sam straight away. Played the survival football with maybe a bit of a counter attack and trying to sneak some points in. That would have been the play, I think. But I do think you will survive. I've just got a feeling. Abdullah, you think Big Sam won't be able to save Leeds from relegation? Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's maybe too late, but I've just got a feeling that you'll get some points on the board. Prices next season are going to be so high. I feel like there are going to be no good budget options. You say that, but every season there's always people. Right, I tell you what, look out for people like Brownhill, for example, from Burnley and players like this. They're going to be 4.55 million, and there's going to be room. Trust me. Grealish to Anthony. I don't like Anthony as an option, to be honest with you, Seb. He just doesn't finish enough. He gets the chances, but he's just not living up to expectations, in my opinion. Thoughts on Martial to Alvarez? I think they're both rotational prone. I think Alvarez has probably got a higher chance of getting a return based on how many goals City score. Any other options? I just think that keeping Martial is okay. Have you got any other burning fires or anything else that you can suggest? You was thinking that, thanks, mate. No worries, Daniel. I do think it's worth it, mate. Godwin, do you think Trippier will start? I do. I'm playing him for that reason. And if he doesn't, then I've got Botman off the bench. So the clean sheet. If it's there, then I get it anyway. What do I think about Bernardo? I don't think he plays at least one of these games. Again, he's been a very heavily focused European asset for Pep. Now, I know we haven't got European football now until the final for City, but I just don't think he'll start this weekend. You've gone from the most attractive footy to the least attractive. Yeah, indeed. But that's what Big Sam gives you. But this is what I mean, is that like 2-3 months ago, if you would have, sacked March for him, it would have been okay. Like, I genuinely think you could have gone to a negative style of football, got, like I said, those kind of counter-attacking goals or set-piece goals, those sneaky 1-1s, 1-0s, and you would have put points on the board a lot sooner than you're able to do, I think, now. But you're going to leave it to the last minute, but I do think you'll stay up. I love it anyway because of the rivalry with United, right? I'd prefer to have Leeds in the Premier League than not, if I'm honest. I think our games are great. Junior Gaming, hello, Dan. Update on Trippier. Haven't got any solid information, my friend, but I'm confident that he's going to start. I mean, if you ask most Newcastle fans, a lot of them, and what I've seen on Twitter at least, is that there's no injury, there's no issue. He just got substituted a little bit earlier in the Brighton game. It says knock on the game, but I think he'll be fine. You're going to take a -16 and chance Kepa to Mendy just to Mendy get benched both games. I mean, this is another thing as well, right? Like the goalkeeper rotation. I think you'd probably expect, though, that now Lampard has done that Kepa to Mendy move last game, he probably keeps Mendy in goal to the end of the season, if I'm honest. You've got to go. Have a good one. Thank you very much, Daniel. Appreciate you joining the stream, mate. Take care and good luck. Abdullah, Dan, you should do some podcasts with FPL YouTubers in the summer. I mean, I'd love to. I'd love to be able to do more collaboration content. Absolutely. As I said, though, it's really tricky for me because I'm just letting this channel kind of grow slowly and just not wait for those opportunities. Of course, I will still message and talk to them. I talk to Focal every now and again. He's a good guy. Obviously, he's raided my streams a couple of times. And he's supportive. A lot of them are, but it's just time. That's what it comes down to. Like, I've got a family with 2 children and a full-time job, so it's just, I do this for fun. So if it turns into something, then absolutely, more than happy to do like collabs and podcasts and stuff. But yeah, unfortunately, I'm not like 18 with no responsibilities. Otherwise, mate, I would have jumped into it with 2 feet with no hesitation. But no, it's good to know, though, that people would be interested to having me on board with other YouTubers or podcasts in general. Like, I do think I could probably add value to the community and certain conversations, but we'll see. Watch this space, mate. Watch this space. Not sure I'll be able to bring you Stormzy like Raptor's done, but we'll see. Right, final dilemmas, guys. 15 minutes. What are we thinking? What are we thinking? I guess the only thing for me now is really, after talking about it a bit, is this. Do I think that Matoma gets benched for at least one game? And in which case, if it is the Southampton game, do I just play Wilson? Decisions. So who do I think the best goalkeeper are? Man City, United or Brighton? De Gea. I'm going to go for De Gea, mate. Right. Let's get some data up. Let's get some data. Is it going to be coin flip territory? Odegaard or Trossard for Martinelli? It's pump week, mate. You've got to go Trossard. You've got to go Trossard. Yeah, Trossard. I'm gonna have a look at their data in terms of the last few weeks, though. I mean, Trossard hasn't played as many minutes as Odegaard, right? They're so close, honestly. Expected assists and expected goals. They're very, very, very close. I think Trossard though. I'm looking at Trossard next week. No goalkeeper for United, Man City and Brighton because already on triple ups. Kepa to Ramsdale. Interesting. Literally, you've gone through about how many different transfer options ended up on what, a -12 or a -16, Seb? That's just mad. Would have been good if FPL shifted the deadline nearer to the kickoff for team news. Yeah, I mean, in this scenario though, because it's Brighton and Brentford Spurs, not really many people are looking at playing their assets, right? Matoma to Mahrez or Rashford to Mahrez? Oh, Farzid. Coming in with a hot topic conversations here. Matoma to Mahrez or Rashford to Mahrez? I've got to back United. I've got to back Rashi. I think you go Matoma to Mahrez, mate. You think you're going to go Salah to Bruno? Okay, Seth. I hope it works out for you, mate. I just think that, yeah, Salah against Southampton on the last week, that could hurt you, but either Martial to Alvarez or Dalot to Estepinian for the -4. I think you go Martial to Alvarez, mate, in this scenario. I don't try to go for... but then Dalot, does he even play? I think you do Salah to Bruno, Dalot to Estepinian, mate, if you're looking at that -4. Like, Dalot won't play 2 games. -12 so far, but you still need a goalkeeper. Who do I think is best? I mean, just the ceiling for goalkeepers, like I've said, Seb, it's really difficult. Like, for the most part, you're just playing for clean sheets. If you want save points included in that, then I would say that Steele is probably a good option because Brighton do concede chances. So Steele gets the save points. In terms of clean sheets, though, I think in terms of the double, I do like De Gea. But you've already said you're on the triple up now, right? Rashford going to play both games in the double. I don't think he plays both as in 90 minutes, but I think he'll probably start as a substitute for Bournemouth, if I'm honest. Won't Rashford miss Bournemouth game, Matoma to get Mins in both? Well, I mean, I'm anticipating that Matoma might get benched in the Southampton game because they're relegated anyway. Then maybe he plays a slightly weakened side. As in, that's De Zerbi plays a slightly weakened side. As for Rashford, he might miss the start in Bournemouth, but I think he gets subbed on, and there's a higher chance, in my opinion, of him doing something than Matoma. There's nothing concrete in that, it's just an opinion. Literally, I just think that Rashford has travelled probably separately to the United squad, and I think he's a better hold than Matoma. You've got Kepa and Raya, but you can't get De Gea, Edison, and Steele, so someone else. Okay. I mean, what's the budget as well? Because in this case, then do you go someone like Alisson? Because I don't trust Arsenal defence, to be honest. I don't. Do you go for Johnston? Palace have got good fixtures. I mean, it's a very limited pool of people, Seb. This is what I mean. I don't really do enough research into goalkeepers, if I'm honest, because their ceiling's so low. How are we doing, Harry? Welcome to the stream, mate. Is Alex Moreno and Rashford to Shaw and Gundogan for a -4 worth it? I mean, I think Rashford gets at least one full game and some minutes in the Bournemouth game, Harry. So I'm just not fully convinced that Rashford to Gundogan is a good move. Plus, it's just you're setting yourself up for headaches with Pep Roulette, mate. I think Moreno to Shaw is on its own is enough if you can do that. Would I bring in De Gea for a hit together with Shaw for Kepa and Share? I probably would. I probably would, yes. Godwin, do I think Johnston will start both matches? Yes. You've got 6 million, so you can pick anyone. Then I think Alisson, maybe. Good fixtures for Liverpool. Home fixture against Villa. Start 3. Botman, Odegaard, Grealish, Isak, Martial. Odegaard, Martial, Isak. Odegaard, Martial, Isak, yes. I think I'd bench Grealish and Botman. Just about. I don't think Grealish gets 2 games, guys. That's why I've sold him. That's the reality. What we got? 7 minutes. Right, let me check Matoma's stats versus Wilson's. Junior gaming last week, if you did a stream, probably would have just went with Isak over Wilson due to minutes. Crazy risk which paid off for you, yeah. I mean, a lot of people were in that position though, mate. A lot of people were in that position of just, oh, I'm going to go for the person that plays, that they think is going to play the most minutes. And I can't argue with the logic. I just took a risk. I just felt like this is the opportunity. Like if I don't get it right, then it is what it is. I fall from grace and I probably finish in the 200k mark. If it works, I'm pushing on for 50k. So complete gamble that worked off. You've done a minus 16, Seb. Watch the hits pay off and get 140 points. I'm rooting for you, mate. I'm rooting for you. Although, just know that that isn't going to happen next season for you, mate. Because you're going to start from game week 1, and then we're going to play it nice and calm, collected. You'll do well next season, mate. You'll do well, my friend. Right, Matoma, Callum Wilson. What do we want to do? Last 4 game weeks. I love the confidence, mate. Yes, you will. The issue I've got with this is just if Matoma is playing against Southampton, I feel like he could absolutely go wild. George CFC a minus 16. Wow. I mean, he's like 2 million rank, right? So he started in game week 6, George. So he's just, he's playing for fun at this point, I think. Only 124 points left. Minus 16 is crazy. Oh, Seb, you got some attention now, my friend. This only happens once in a lifetime. Captain Mahrez. Damn. I mean, guys, we're pulling out the full differentials here. Still 400k in the second chance league, though. Nice, mate. What did I've got to 22k now. There was a point where I was like 3k in this. I can't see the history of it, can I? Nah, because it's only overall rank that you can see. Would have been nice to see the... Look at this form, though, guys. Look. 62k here in Game Week 31. And then I got to 138k. Wilson captain alone. Thanks, mate. I'll have that rank back. Crazy. Love to see it. Love to see it. The hero. Damn. 2 minutes to decide Wilson or Matoma. What am I doing, guys? What am I doing? And you're still in the FPL Link Cup. Nice. You got Kepa and Raya. Who do you change? Depends who you can fund, but I don't mind De Gea as a move. De Gea, I think, is okay then, Trishel. If you've got triple City, triple Brighton, I don't mind that. Alvarez captain. You're captaining Bruno, yeah. I don't mind that. I think that's a solid move. Do you transfer Kepa or Raya to someone? Would that be for another -4? I probably wouldn't do it for another -4. I would just play Kepa in the hope that he gets elite. Well, I say that. He's probably going to play Mendy. Again, Raya's good for save points. But like I said, guys, goalkeepers' ceilings aren't massive. So when you take that -4, it's going to take a lot for them to recover that. 1 minute to the deadline as well, so you need to decide quick. I think you just play Raya, mate. Just play Raya. You've chanced it on Alvarez, my man. The City fan within you. Good luck, though, mate. Good luck. I hope the -16 pays off. It's not very often I say that on stream, so I just needed to get that one in. But yeah, good luck, guys. Good luck. I think we'll be locked very shortly, and I think that's it for me. I can't. Yeah, well, it's 11 o'clock now, so I guess it's locked. Locked. Alvarez, captain, no way. You're not even trusting yourself. Crazy, my man. Good luck, though, mate. See you, Dan. Got to go to the mate's birthday. Already running late. Enjoy, my friend. Have a great weekend, Seth. Hope the moves pay off, my friend. Good luck, mate. Good luck, Stu. Take care, my friend. Thanks for popping in. Patrick, thank you very much. Good luck to you too. You've tweeted your team. I'll have a look in a second, mate. I'm just tweeting mine. So I've got 0.9. You bench Trippier this week. I don't think that's like a massive deal, though, to be honest with you, Junie. I do think he plays, but like I said, I think Leicester could sneak a goal. Grealish to Fernandez and Watkins to Alvarez. -4. I'll have a look at your team in a second, mate. Pin to the profile. Boom. Your team. Right, let's see if I can get this on stream. One sec. Where are we here? You went Allison in the end as well, right? Oh, man. This is just absolutely nuts. I mean, the thing is, by you captaining Alvarez, in some ways, it's like if he gets returns, I'm really happy with that because not only has your pump worked, but also mine has. Obviously, there's no captaincy on him, but just, yeah. Good luck, mate. What a team. Madness. Apparently, Wilson's the most transferred in player, and I've benched him. Alvarez, captain, crazy pun. Oh my guy. Just next season, Seb. Though, like I said, when you start from game week 1, you'll play it a little bit differently. It's just a bit of fun for these last few weeks, right, for you. So I really do hope it works out for you, mate. First time not captaining Haaland. Who knows, mate? Who knows? Fingers crossed for you, bud. Fingers crossed. Would have helped if I spelled Alvarez right on my tweet. Alvarez. What a nightmare. First time when he has good fixtures. Yeah, I mean, do you think he starts both, though? I mean, if you wrap the league up by Sunday, do you think he plays the Brighton game? Somehow you did a -12. My guys, what is this? Your top 1K some in the game week 6. Also, anybody that started from game week 6, you mean? That's pretty good going. I guess that you can use that as a bit of a kind of understanding of if you'd have the extra 5 game weeks worth of points where you'd be, and maybe you'd be doing very, very well, Seb. So you'll think he'll get 45 minutes. Okay, fair play. Edison, Robbo, Gross, Isak out for Steele, Shaw, Bruno, and Alvarez. I mean, I don't hate the people that you brought in, but just for a -12, I mean, that's going to take some doing to get back. I mean, let's just hope that Bruno pops off. I mean, I want that from a United perspective anyway, but just for you as well, I just think, yeah, that's the one. That is the one. But I think we're going to wrap it up, guys. To be honest, got some bits to do this weekend around the house. But yeah, -4 taken. Good luck to everybody in the chat still that's stuck around. And we're doing one last team selection next week. It's kind of like a bit of a sad sign-off, this one, for me, because it's literally the last week is going to be my last stream for a long time. So good luck with the hits for both of you. Seb, Badsley, sorry if I butchered your name, but good luck. Good luck. Really hope it pays off for you. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the FPL results. And yeah, I'll see you in another video soon, guys. Take care. All the best.